All right. Hello and welcome. We are here, top of the hour, lunchtime. Welcome. And I'm glad that you see this video. If you're here and you see it later, I'm glad that you're tuning in and that you're watching. I'm Kathy Freeman with Kathy Freeman Art, and I am a mixed media artist. I love to work in my art journal. And what I've done is I've actually incorporated the lessons of what I teach as far as creating art with a practice that I have for journaling, and it's called Creative Reminders. And so on these particular meetings, when I meet, I want to share with you some of the things that I'm creating, show you what I'm creating in my book, and hopefully inspire you. Now, this particular practice of Creative Reminders works fantastic if you're a person who is finds that their mind loops over things. So if you maybe will get a thought in there and then you just kind of think over it and think over it a little bit, and it kind of, you try not to worry about it. Have you ever experienced that? Are you one of those individuals like myself who you try not to worry about it? Did I hurt their feelings? Is that okay? Or what do I need to do? Or I hope they're okay. Those thoughts that you go in that are kind of worrisome in nature, and they tend to loop. And so that's what this process, Creative Reminders, works beautifully for, besides just perking up your day and helping you to feel great. I have an art group called My Art Sisters, and we get together and I create art with them. So let me start right now. And I'm going to go ahead to a full screen so you can see this particular. Let me move that. Welcome. If you're here, let me go to the comments. Go ahead and say hello, and I'll tell me where you're from, and let me read your comments in that. And as we go through, if you've got questions, ask them and I'll answer them, and just have a great time. This is my art journal. I love it. I'll be showing it to you. Let me go back here. Where was I? There we go. Let me go to that one. I'm going to show you, I actually have two art journals that I started this year. I've got your typical art journal that's got all the art pages and the spiral bound. Do I have it close by me? Not close enough to use right now to show. Oh, there it is. The typical, you open up and you can put all of your great pieces of art that in. I've got that one. I've got several of those. Watercolor, mixed media. But I decided this year that I wanted something that I could keep. Not that I wouldn't keep that, but that's a little bit more special. And then I would actually use with my Creative Reminders. And so this particular one I found, and any kind of book will work, but I loved about this is this actually has watercolor paper inside it. And so when I'm working on it, the paper is thick enough that it'll work really well with watercolors. And then this little book right here, is this not sweet? This one, I could not resist. I love tiny things anyway. This one has, and I kept, the funny thing about this is, when you buy a book, they've always got some kind of a little wrapping thing on it or whatever. I kept it on and decorated the front of it so that I could use it to slip little notes or things inside that. And this book too, I will be using to put those creative reminders in. So let me get started right now, and let me show you what I did that I created for Mondays. Are a super slow day for me. Getting started on Mondays, I just tend to find myself slogging around a little bit, trying to get my bearings after a nice restful Sunday. And so I find it's a great day for me to do a creative reminder. Let me go back to that screen and we'll get started. I'm working in my creative journal. Got this wonderful new journal here that I'm going to start. And I'm working on the first page. And I've chosen I pulled out the creative reminders, this quote right here. Every day's a new day for growth. I embrace this new week with an open heart and mind. Today I choose to take things one step at a time. Even if I start slow, each action moves me closer to my goals. I will be gentle with myself, knowing that productivity happens with steady effort towards progress. So I want to create over here now a visual image, which is part of the process for the creative reminders, that will help remind me of that. I'm thinking about, of course, a new day, new week, thinking about sunshine, and I came across this image in a magazine, and I thought that would make an awesome sun. So I'm going to use that, and I'm going to use some tissue paper that I've got painted here. And I want to start with my background, and I think I'll use this template here. These wonderful circular flowers. I'm going to use some gesso, and let's put that down first. What I did is I took my gesso was quite thick, so I've thinned it down, and we'll see how that works out. But we're going to first thing work on the background. And I'm just randomly putting this down in different areas. Let's lift it, see how that goes. And it is pretty thin. So let's now grab, or to collect, a little thicker. Use my we're experimenting here. Let me see if you can see that. That's so much different. The thin one, I still have some of the detail, but a lot better of the detail with the thicker. I'm going to turn this over here and get some up on the top. So that it comes right off of the page. So I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to go ahead and start drawing that. Got a nice surface. Now we're going to go ahead with some watercolor on top of that, but it could possibly dissolve my gesso once that water hits. I'll be a little choosy on where I place it. I pick this blue right here. And this is a watercolor journal, so the pages in it are ready and able to handle watercolor. I'm going to put a plastic surface in between, just so that it won't go onto the other pages as I'm working. And I work kind of swiftly and not linger in these areas too much where I've got the gesso, because I don't want to activate it, bring it up. Doesn't it look like sky right now? I love it. This is beautiful. I'd love for you to post in the comments if you have your own art journal. What do you like to put in it? Grab a dark blue. Let's add it into different areas. Just slowly applying this color is part of the therapeutic process. It's just so wonderful. Wow, that alone I think is beautiful. And I could see just doing that and then writing something right here. If you leave it, it'd make a really pretty page. We're going to press forward and continue on with this. It reminded me of a cloudy sky I saw not too long ago where there's just so many billows. Let's let that dry now. It's time to dry that. seriously would make a beautiful page just by itself. Right, let's pull this out now. We'll go across here as our sunrise comes up. And okay, put that. And at the end, I'll be cutting this off, but I'm just going to give myself rip some off there. I want to use this. Maybe come out on this side where it's kind of peeping out, the little sun. So let's put this down first. To spread it out with. Spread that out. There we go. I'm going to pull off some of this yellow. Let's see, whatever. Just ripping this right along here. Let's place it like so. If I got this edge over here really well or not. There, place that down. Fingers are the best tools. That layer, well, before I dry it, pull out some rays. of sunshine. Keep that there. Try that. That dries pretty quickly. Looks like this. Yeah, it looked like that didn't stick quite as well, so we're going to stick just a little bit on there right now so it doesn't get forgotten. Just go right over that. That looks beautiful. I take my watercolor again. Got this wonderful heel. I'm going to think about this as being a heel, and it's coming up over the heel. And let's just wet this here. that right up to that. And add some deep brown. It responds a lot differently, the watercolor does, once now that there's other things. But you can still get a nice layer, translucent layer on here. Let's add some more green to that. See my water acrylics. Nuo 2s. Making some marks on here. We take our brush. I'm going to go over that and activate those marks with some water. Let's see, let's go for the blue. Let's go for purple. Still a little wet right here. So I want to take my pencil. Let's just take this first, just to kind of get the movement in my hand. Create some little leaves and things. Let's grab a 1 permanent marker. It's a pretty fine little tip. And I'm going to start at the top. This is just like a little wildflower, which basically, if you can see what I'm doing, is just squiggly lines. My little stem. Little squiggly lines like so. We'll come down. We'll give it a leaf. Kind of put some of these areas a little bit darker. Come back with my pen and emphasize those. Add some, like the ground, the dirt around it. They're not just sitting there by themselves. Hi, Barb. Thanks for showing up. These are off, kind of in the back, way back there. I usually like doing them in small clusters, 5, 3s. Just do like some grass or something around here. Jigglier, the better. This right here reminds me of the way these lines are going. I can see them real well. Almost like a farm. And just emphasize that. That will be, there we go. Any white highlight. Let that dry, and then I'm going to come back in with these. We'll just make little. Add that white to that. Finish up a little bit here, and we're just about done now. Here we go. Get myself back on here. Let me tell you, I had so much fun creating this. And I think that the hardest part for me sometimes when I can think of ideas and lessons and that to teach my students and my membership and to give them. But when I'm sitting down to do my own actual journal, I tend to, my mind goes blank. And so what I love about this is to be able to just pull out the supplies, the things that I might possibly enjoy using, and then just be random. And that's what I love about the art journal. Just like in that particular one that we created there, when I saw that, that was a flower that I used for the sun, as you remember. When I saw that in a magazine, my mind was like, "Ooh, I love this. I love the shape of it. I love the color of it." I am always drawn to things with color that are vibrant in color. And when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, I've got to use this. This would be great in something." And so it's always nobody else when they look at it will understand what that is. They will have no clue because of the way it's covered up and how I've got it put in there. But I will understand. I will know what it is. Every time I look at this now, I am just filled with that little spark of joy of knowing that I had that image and fell in love with it and then used it for something. So give yourself permission in your art journals not to create, just let things start flowing and not get caught up in the final product of, what is that going to look like? What is that going to be? Same thing with this one. It's not my typical um, way I create, but it was just a joyful, fun, easy, quick little page to make. And I love these create reminders so much. I have used them for years to help my mind let go of, thoughts that sit and loop around and really get myself going in a direction. Like this one, as the sun rises each day, it reminds me that each moment is a new opportunity for growth. All right. Well, thank you for showing up for me today. Barb, it's so great to have you here. I don't understand your last message that you posted. I just subbed. I don't know what that means, but I hope that I will see you again. And if nothing else, I hope that you guys will get out your art journals, start creating, and just pull out the fun supplies. I mean, when I started teaching my membership to use tissue paper, and we did several projects with that, I have fallen in love with that. And I find that I want to use it in many of my projects now. All right. So you'll find me over on kathyfreemanart.com and just pop over there and get in there and check around, see some of the things I've got going on. And I'll see you again next Tuesday. Thank you again for showing up. Have a super great week.